everyone, and welcome back to the FIA Manufacturer Series. This is pre-season and this is round number 5. Now, this is Tokyo and a bit of a slipstream fest. The positive about this round was that we could actually do qualifying and not have the fuel burn. So you'll notice I have set a fast lap there, or no, I haven't set a fast lap. I have put a lap in, but unfortunately there was a big mistake in there, so I had to let somebody go, and yeah, we ended up with 2:04. We're actually looking for 1:58, high 1:57s in the Audi R8. But you're probably wondering, why have we started it so far in the lap, basically, or, you know, before the start of the lap? Well, I want to show you the bad part about this track and qualifying, because as we know in GT Sport and in all Gran Turismos, to be honest with you, slipstream can be quite significant, and here is no exception. You're going to see a lot of people now fighting to try and get a little bit of slipstream to try and get themselves further up the grid. EMEA being so competitive, the amount of competitive players in there, everybody wants a bit of slipstream to get that extra tenth out of the car to then actually qualify well and you know, have a good race. Obviously the mid pack at this track is going to be a bit more dicey than other tracks, because it is of course a city track as well. So you can see everyone coming around there, excuse me. PTM STJ unfortunately has a penalty, so that's his qualifying over and done with. We get behind Azorian here and we head towards line. This is our second attempt at this round. In the previous round we found out that hitting people from behind gives negative SR. So at this point I'm hoping just for a couple small taps to push Azorian along a little bit. That's not to give him negative SR, but it's to help him push along a little bit. Potentially maybe getting the slipstream in front. So I go for another one here. Hope that gets us in that slipstream up ahead. Unfortunately, I see it doesn't, so I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be a bit cheeky here. And this is a bit cheeky. I'm going to go for the inside. Now, my thought process behind this is twofold. One, I've got a bit of a run up here, and I can give Azorian a bit of slipstream. Second of all, I believe I will be the quicker car in the middle section. That is my belief, so that's what I'm going to go for here. And if I'm the quicker car in the middle section, potentially I catch this pack up ahead, which is fighting with each other for whatever reason. Fortunately, Kelster pulls over. I wish Kelster had stayed in there, because I potentially could have grabbed hold of that little bit of slipstream at the end. But even so, we continue out the corner. There's a bit of a gap there between me and Azorian as we continue now in the middle section. So Azorian's going to use that slipstream to pull right back up to me. And all I have to do here really is nail the chicane. The chicane is the critical part of this lap. It's coming into here. We're going to brake and turn in. And you can see we get a lot of understeer there. Really annoying. So that's to do with tyre temps as well. Obviously waiting at the end of a lap cost us a little bit in tyre temps. So you see Azorian is catching us up now. So we may have slowed Azorian down a bit. Yeah, which is unfortunate, but at least he's had a little bit of slipstream here. As we come around the left-hander, we then head up the hill. Azorian right on our tail now as we then come into the braking zone. Turn it in, and now the car is working well. Into the left we go, through there. That's a very nice run through there as we head towards the last corner. Unfortunately, we've got no slipstream up ahead, so we're going to be down on our time, essentially, on our what could be best time, because we have no slipstream. We have no slipstream. So coming into here, I'm trying to go really tight to even just get a little bit of Giorgio slipstream there. Fortunately, that doesn't quite work out. So we're just going to head out this corner now. We're 5.8 seconds up on our own time, so that's going to be well in the 1:58s. Let's see where we end up. Of course, we had a little bit of slipstream in that lap, towards the end of it anyway, at least, as we'd let somebody go. And there you can see, fuel wasn't an issue. So fuel burning wasn't a necessity here, which is a good thing, a really, really good thing. But we head towards the line. We get a 1:58.5, not the best at all here. 9 tenths down on Devasol. The Toyotas, both of them, the Supra and the FT1, seem to be flying at this track for whatever reason. So, you know, we're not in the highest position, but we're not in the lowest position as well. So we're towards the front end of the pack, and I think with a proper lap we could have done a lot better. Devasol starts in P1 there in the Supra, Giorgio in P2 in that Mercedes-Benz, Calster P3 in the Lamborghini. P4 there for Unfazed in the GTR. GTR, a very strong car here. WRX and Lightning P5. That's a bloody good job by Lightning. P6 for Alexoni there. P7 for ourselves there in the R8. P9, P8 for the Jaguar. I said R8 and it got mixed up there. Azorian P9. Snake in P10 in the F-Type. P11 there for JM Bree in the Alpha. That's a tough track for the Alpha, I've got to say. PSM P12 there. Indy Food P13 in that BMW. P14 for Sky Pickman in the Lexus. P15 there for Jomas in the Dodge. P16 in the Hyundai for Felix there. Another Dodge driver there in Berlin. P18 there for Afo. And we have 18 drivers here for the race. So you see I got fuel map 6. That's a little trick you can do. Just make sure you don't use that little bit of extra fuel, because how many times have you come to the line in a fuel race but it's on 0? So this could help you. So you can see, put it back to 1 and off we go. Now we know the Volkswagen Vision Gran Turismo car up ahead of us is a very fast car, so we're going to hopefully stay behind it, keeping that slipstream. Now the Audi R8 struggles with the top end speed. Amazingly, that Alfa Romeo and a couple of other cars have amazing top end speeds. So yes, the Audi is very quick at accelerating out of a corner, or you know, the sort of mid-speed tracks, but the top end, it was atrocious. Not as atrocious as Lightning Subaru, I'll give credit there. Lightning really struggled in that direct. Look, lost all the front group in front of him, and it's a straight line. So I think there does need to be some form of gearing changes on some of these cars, especially for these really slipstream fast circuits. Potentially even having a third balance of performance. I mean, in reality, we'd want balance of performance on a per circuit track, but if we can't get that, potentially have a high speed balance of performance, the oval balance of performance which exists already, and then a handling balance of performance. Maybe that would be better for the cars. And there's only 3 balance of performances in terms of setup that they need to worry about, not 4 billion and on a per track basis. Personally, I'd like a per track, but even so, we continue on. We're going to suffer a little bit of dirty air here, just behind Lightning. We've got Steve Gaming behind us as well in the Jaguar. As we come through the left-hander, there's my equipment if you're interested, in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. And we come into the right-hander. Oh, TV camera, apologies. The TV replay did not save. We actually went to watch this on the live stream, which is in the description if you want to watch the full live stream. Basically, it showed the grid and then decided it wanted to finish there. So, unfortunately, none of that. But if you look at my radar now, coming into this final turn, you're going to see 2 arrows side by side here. And I just get hit from behind by Steve Gaming there. He does apologise for that afterwards. Fortunately, I managed to sort of like brake and point it into the corner, so it wasn't end gaming or end of the race for me, and it wasn't for Steve either. So, you know, we both come out of that unscathed. People make mistakes, especially into that last turn on the first lap. It can be sketchy, you got all sorts, you got slipstream, everything else. I've made mistakes there in the past, just a little mistake. So we continue racing all the same. Lightning is just ahead of us here. So Lightning giving us a little bit of slipstream here. Lightning says he's going to pull to the right, so we're going to come through, because remember, SR is impacted, so if you do bumper drafting, it's the car that gets bumped which gets the penalty, not the car that does the bumping. Weird, I know, but yeah, we'll get onto that a little bit later. So you can see Lightning was struggling there. Lightning's still not catching us up. That WRX really is struggling, my word. But one thing to think about in this race, for anyone who's watching this, I assume you're watching anyway, is fuel. Fuel was not an issue in qualifying, therefore it's going to be an issue in the race. Which is kind of critical, to be honest, because that means we're going to have to fuel save in the inner sections of the lap, and then try and boost yourself out the last corner on fuel map 1, and then drop the fuel map as you get to the top of the rev range. You can see we're out the slipstream at the moment of Alex Oni, which is really frustrating. We needed to be in that slipstream. Unfortunately, because the WRX is so slow in a straight line, Lightning lost that, and we're now having to try and catch up. And hopefully try and get in that slipstream. That's where we need to be. So you can see I'm on fuel map 2 at the moment. I'm going to then start to look to try and get that to 1 again, because I really need to catch up to this group. So you see I'll knock it down to 1 now. Just get a bit of understeer there. We're just in that slipstream, and I mean only just, but the Audi struggles at top end. So instantly coming out this corner, we're going to struggle to catch that back up. We really have to nail this last corner. Can we do it? Into the braking zone we go. Alex Oni obviously out-braking himself there. Uses a wall to slow himself down a little bit more. We're close. But not quite. Unfortunately, we're not in that slipstream. So the guys in front are going to pull away. And the guys behind are going to be doing the old nip and tuck with the slipstream to catch up. So we've got a lap later. You can see Steve Gaming has caught me up here. So we just stick to the left. You can see that group went miles away because of the slipstream. It was unbelievable the amount of time it was. It was like a second and a half on the straight alone. It was mind-boggling, to be honest. And you'll see that a little bit later on as well. So we jump into Steve Gaming slipstream here. Lightning's on the left, but Lightning knows that he's just going to lose out of here. It's even worse than the R8 at top end. It's amazing that I'm saying the R8 is slow at the top end, because everyone knows it's actually a fast car. But in this situation, top end speed, it seems to be bad. No idea why, but even so, we come into this corner. I was kind of hoping that Steve Gaming would let me go here. Being an MR car, I'm going to be better in the handling sections. He doesn't let me go here. He doesn't have to, you know, there's no reason why he should. If he feels he's faster, like I did in qualifying, he should go. I thought I would be faster, so I thought, maybe you let me go, but in this situation we didn't. So we stayed behind. This is our perfect time to save fuel. So you're going to see me short shift as well here. There we go. In 6th gear, letting off the throttle here. I'm just trying to stay behind. I don't want to attack Steve Gaming in any way. I just want to get him through the chicane. Bit of dirty air there, so we have to drop to 4th. Bit more dirty air as we go back up to 5th. But again, slipstream here, we can just short shift as much as we can, save this fuel. Of course, ooh, yes, that's a good point actually to make. I slightly tapped Steve's rear there after he hit the wall. If I'd have hit the wall on the right side trying to avoid him, I'd have given him a 5-second penalty. Really strange bug in the penalty system there at Tokyo. Fortunately, I didn't. I did say that in the live stream as well. I wasn't trying to give him a penalty. Literally, it just, you know, hit the wall and then I slightly clipped him. So it was very, very, very close. But even so, we continue on down towards the last corner here. Again, I'm just staying behind now. It's a pit stop lap, basically, you know, lap number 4. Now, if you look at my tyres, actually that worn being halfway through this race. So a critical question actually came up in my mind. Do I change tyres or not? Now, in one of the practice races, we'd only done 2 because we'd also did Nations on this evening. It was in my mind that, I think it was Jomas tried a no tyre change. And it seemed to be okay-ish. It just depends how it falls. So you can see Steve Gaming indicates there. Very fair play. So you can see my dilemma here. I'm thinking about it. I decide to risk it. I'm risking not changing my tyres. Now, the thinking behind this is, can I come out with the group that was leading the race? You can see them just there and get in the slipstream. But look at the gaps on the left-hand side. We're just out of it again. Like, I can't believe how close that was again. Now, if we were literally a few attempts closer, maybe we did the middle section a little bit better on that last lap, we would have been in the slipstream. But look at them pull away. The minute that slipstream just kicks in, they fly off. And you can see on faces captured as well in that GTR as we now come into this right-hander. And that's all I wanted to do was get in that. If I got in that group, I can guarantee I would have been fighting for the lead. I can guarantee it. Because they're just there. You can see them all there. I mean, P5, it is so close. Very, very, very frustrating. So now I'm thinking about behind a little bit here. I know Unfazed started further up the grid than me, so I know Unfazed has changed tyres. And you can see a lot of the guys that are in like 6th, 7th sort of area. These are guys that potentially have either haven't changed tyres and are fighting, or were ahead of me. Now in this situation it's only Unfazed, so I'll let Unfazed go here. It's all about trying to save fuel. Oh, nearly the same thing happens again there with Steve Games. We lost a little bit more to that group up ahead as we continue on. So I'm hoping to use Unfazed here on the straights. Pull me along. I haven't changed my tyres. It means anybody behind who's changed their tyres is going to catch me in that middle section. So if I can get a bit of a blitz on the straights, you know, following this GTR, which is absolutely rapid, we can literally stay in that slipstream, save fuel, and then also be pulled along. So we're actually improving our overall race time that we can potentially get. Coming out of here, we are close enough. Look at that. Half a second behind that GTR. Let's use it now. Let's actually use this slipstream to our advantage. Let's really accelerate on. Let's see if we can catch this lead group. And look at that GTR. It was pulling away from me there a little bit, but now we start to pull it back again. You can see there's some sort of action up ahead as well. A car going to the right hand side. But you can see we're catching. And we've got fuel map 2. So we are trying to save fuel a little bit here. We go to the right hand side. Now I do think that potentially I might have tried to save fuel a bit too much in this race, which was my problem. So I then underfilled, and then yeah, that caused a bit of an issue as well. So maybe that cost me a little bit here as well. Now I'm going to let Unfazed go because Unfazed has the fresher tyres. Let's just use him again. Let's try and use this slipstream as best as we can. We've got quite a long acceleration period. You can see Alexoni is just up ahead, so you know we're not that far off still. Into the right hander we go. Through there we go. We're going to now advance a little bit further on. Magical feature of zoom. So we did a bit of nip and tuck there. Me and Unfazed. Bit of slipstreaming on the straights, and unfortunately, if you look up ahead, he's in the slipstream of Alexoni, and he is just firing away. So we've got 3.8 seconds to Steve Gaming, who we came in at the exact same time as. So you can see we've actually have benefited from this tire not changing our tyres. Kind of a nice strategy, to be honest. But you can see now we've really lost out to this GTR. Really lost out now. It's all about surviving. Can we survive 3.5 seconds on this track to Steve Gaming on the final lap? This is going to be critical now. So coming through his left-hander. Again, we're having to lift now because our tyres are pretty worn at this point, to be fair. But I'm kind of happy I took the risk. I'm just gutted a little bit that it was literally what, 2-3 tenths off that slipstream. I was that close. Very, very, very unfortunate. So coming into here, second to last time we do this, round we go. You can see our fuel there, 1.1 laps remaining, 16% of fuel. Now I worked out that going flat out in this car, I used 19% of fuel, so I can't go fully flat out here. As we continue on, look, 1 lap of fuel remaining. It's going to be tight, and we've got 2.6 seconds down to Steve Gaming. Steve Gaming is absolutely flying here. So this is where I potentially have probably tried to save a bit too much fuel here, rather than take a little bit more and go a little bit quicker. Even so, we continue on, and look at that gap up ahead, by the way. 3.8 seconds. That gap is just, look at the gap. Look at it go up. It's just nuking up, and this is the problem with the slipstream. Look at that, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. I can't do anything about it. I know I'm in fuel map 2, but even so, that's mad. I could keep up with them in fuel map 2 with the slipstream. So yeah, absolutely insane. Steve Gaming coming up behind as well. 2 Jaguars, in fact. We've got PCM, STJ. And that's a big increase of positions for Carlos there, because he started P12, was it, I think? Because he had that penalty earlier on in qualifying. So, last lap, 1.1 seconds. Can we keep this position? Coming into this left-hander now. Then the right. Let's nail the chicane as best as we can. Brake in is between the 100 and the 50. About where that shadow is. We turn in. We do this fairly well this time, so that's very well done. Wish we could have done that earlier on in the race a little bit better. But you can see 8 tenths now. That slipstream is coming into play here. We're on fuel map 2 still. 0.4 laps remaining. Can we get to the end as well as beat Steve Gaming? This is another critical question. You can see Devil Soul has absolutely dominated this, to be fair. Up in the lead on the right hand side. Going through here, it's 0.6. So Dirty Air affecting Steve a little bit through these corners. As we now leave that corner, it's 5 tenths basically. But that's the slipstream. Look at that. He's catching very, very fast. We're in fuel map 2 as well, so that adds to the dilemma. Into the braking zone we go. Round 1 last time. We accelerate out the corner. We get a bit better run initially than Steve Gaming. But we're putting the fuel map down to 1 now. Can we survive? Can we do it? Is Steve Gaming going to run out of fuel? Or are we going to survive? It's close. It's side by side. But Steve Gaming is going to get this. I went all out here with the fuel. 0.1 laps remaining. Is it going to go to 0? 0 laps remaining. And we do it. So we literally ran on fumes there. Unfortunately, P7 is where we finished. P7 is where we started. So we didn't lose anything in the end. But quite frustrating, to be honest. Lightning has gone. That's how bad the WRX was there. I feel we could have got a better result if the risks has paid off, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. Great racing with Steve Gaming there, and a few of the other guys unfazed as well. Thanks very much for watching. As always, there'll be more highlights of the Manufacturer Series and Nations Cup coming very soon. But that's it for me for now. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.